Welcome back. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt in St. Louis today helping with the prosecution in the murder trial. The man accused of killing a convenience store clerk in South St. Louis 5.5 years after a Somali immigrant was gunned down in a robbery. 41-year-old Antonio Muldrew is on trial facing charges of first-degree murder, robbery, assault, and armed criminal action. But even before jury selection began, the case took a rather strange turn. Russell Kinsall in the courtroom for what happened tonight. He is live outside the courthouse in downtown St. Louis with more.
Well, right now they are finalizing the jury selection process up on the 7th floor. It's taken much longer than they anticipated. But even before that, there was a hearing first thing this morning, and here's why. Late Friday, the defendant, Antonio Muldrew, went behind his defense attorney's back and filed a motion on his own to have certain evidence excluded. And during the hearing about that this morning, the defense attorney said that her client has the mind of a first grader and that her client believes that she is part of a conspiracy against him. In July of 2014, Ethiopian immigrant Abdul Rauf Kadir was working in a convenience store at Chippewa in Louisiana. About 3:30 in the afternoon, police say Kadir was shot multiple times to the head and body, and all the money was taken from the cash register. 41-year-old Antonio Muldrew was arrested a short time later outside the store. Investigators say they were able to identify him as the shooter because they had seen him on the store's surveillance video. Because of a conflict, the Circuit Attorney's Office asked the Attorney General's office to take over the case, and Attorney General Eric Schmitt is taking part in the prosecution. It's the first time he's ever done that. In a statement, his office said, tackling crime in St. Louis and across the state is a hands-on issue. And Attorney General Schmitt believes that getting involved himself is a way to be part of the solution. Accused killer Antonio Muldrew has undergone mental evaluations which have deemed him fit to stand trial, but his mental capacity came up again before jury selection even began. Without consulting his attorney, late Friday, Muldrew filed a motion to suppress key evidence in the case. An exasperated public defender told the judge her client has an IQ of 70 and is on the intellectual level of a first grader. She said Muldrew thinks that she is conspiring against him, and apparently that's why he went behind her back. A brief hearing was held because Muldrew wanted 2 guns and bloody clothing taken from his apartment excluded from use at trial. Muldrew also wanted statements made during his questioning to be excluded. The judge denied the requests. In light of Muldrew going behind his defense attorney's back, she spoke up and told the judge that she's not sure how he'll behave during the trial, that he might act out, but so far he's been quiet and very well behaved. Now, once jury selection is over and the trial begins, the judge has approved allowing a camera in the courtroom to take photographs. It's worth noting that it was the Attorney General's office that made the request for a camera to be in the courtroom. Live downtown, Russell Kinsall, News 4.
New at 5.